In today's episode, we're really going to share and dive into how you can hold yourself accountable, how you can stay more motivated, how you can stay more disciplined. I mean, shoot, you might not even need Coach Joe after just listening to today's episode and following through with just a simple exercise. Now, this exercise, it's probably not going to be the funnest thing to do, but at the end of the day, it will hold some merit and some truth to who it is that you are currently right now, who it is that you're trying to become, and most importantly, as long as you can stay focused on, hey, having this, example somewhere where you can constantly see it and remind yourself the mission statement as who you're trying to become in life and reach your goals, yeah, by all means, you're going to have success and you probably don't even need a coach anymore. But let's just dive right in and then you can make that decision for yourself at the end of today's episode. This is what you're going to do. You're going to write out a list, right? So maybe take a piece of paper, right, and draw a straight line down the line. So there's two different columns, right? And you're going to make a list. You're going to make the list of hate, okay? And on this list, this is everything that you hate about your life. Now let's just put this into terms of your health and fitness goals. Maybe you're 50 pounds overweight. Maybe you are lacking confidence. Maybe you're huffing and puffing just to carry the laundry up and down the stairs. Maybe you're on high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or even worse, type 2 diabetes. Maybe you've been overweight for years. Let's just say maybe you have no energy to play with your kids. They're following through in your footsteps. Like they're just, coming home, sitting on the couch all day, watching TV. They're eating like garbage because you are. Maybe you got all these old clothes that sit in the back of your closet. And I don't know, let's just say you have to suck in your gut, right? Hold your breath just to put on your socks and shoes on in the morning, right? Yeah, all the things that you hate, right? Maybe other people are getting all this attention and you're not. Maybe you don't get the respect at work because of how you look, right? Like, think about it. I always say this all the time, and I said this on previous episodes. If I was hiring somebody and two people walked in, right? Same resume, everything like that, right? Same age. There's nothing different about them except for their body types. Guess what? If someone was in shape versus somebody that was, overweight, I'm going to hire the person that's in shape. Why? Because one, they care about themselves. And if you care about yourselves, how you do one thing is how you do everything in life. So you're probably going to care about other people. You're probably going to care about the work that you do as well. Second, they have discipline. Obviously, if you're in shape, you're eating healthy, you're training, right? Like you have to be consistent with that, and that's why I'm a firm believer that how you do one thing is literally how you do everything. So back to this list, right? This piece of paper. On this side, right, the hate column, right? It's a list of everything that you hate. Write all that down. What do you hate about yourself right now? What do you not like? Right? Like get into the nitty-gritty here too. If you've been struggling with your weight since you've been in middle school and high school and you got picked on and made fun of, like how I did back in the day, write that down, right? Time to open up the closet here and let those, skeletons kind of, the inner demons kind of release themselves here. Put it on a piece of paper, okay? It's not exactly going to be a fun exercise to do, but sure enough, it's going to be worth it in the end. And then on that right-hand side, right, this is going to be the list of great. And this is going to be the 2.0 version that you're trying to become in life. So it should be a complete opposite of everything that you hate about yourself. So if let's say you are, on blood pressure, cholesterol medications, and a type 2 diabetic, well, guess what? Write the opposite of that. You're on no medications. If let's say you can't see your Johnson because you got this big old stomach and beer belly sticking away, guess what? Write down, hey, you got a flat stomach or maybe you got six-pack abs. If let's say you're lacking energy to play with your kids and, to do simple things in life of like, let's say walking up and down the stairs or putting on your socks and shoes in the morning, write that down, having more energy levels. So this is the list of great, and this should be a little bit longer in detail rather than the list of hate because think about it, right? Like this is who you're trying to become. And this might be maybe you have a better career opportunity. Maybe you're making more money. Maybe you're also doing all these things that you truly wish that you want to do. But hey, you're scared enough to step outside your own comfort zone and feed the good wolf for a little bit to even get in shape, right? What are the odds of if you did that in all areas of your life. I'm pretty sure, right, this list of great might be a lot bigger and better in terms of the legacy that you're trying to live here you know? So write out this list. And honestly, like, it's going to piss you off, but you need to be fully emotionally intact into this list. Every single day, you need to look at it. And the list of hates should honestly piss you off. Because guess what? If you're pissed off, odds are you're going to do something about it. If you're looking at a list of every single day and you're reminding yourself, and you're a true, character where you can look at yourself in the mirror, right? If I'm looking at myself in the mirror every single day and I hated the way I looked, I hated the way I felt, and I had an honest conversation with myself, Joe, what is stopping you from becoming great? What is stopping you from getting rid of the dad bod? What is stopping you from having all this energy and confidence that you want? Guess what? It's going to piss me off because now ball's in my court. What's truly stopping me? And so you need to look at this list every single day. And what I encourage you to do, because this is just the God honest truth, right? Let's say you're in your 40s right now, right? I want you to put a timeline. And this might sound very serious, but trust me, right? If it's serious, odds are you're going to make a change. Odds are you're going to take a step outside your comfort zone. Odds are you're going to start feeding the good wolf. And I want you to just put a number at the top, a realistic number, right? So let's say if you're 40 and you're struggling with type 2 diabetes, and look up the stats. I mean, honestly, like if you're a diabetic, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you're overweight, right? You're obese, your life expectancy is a lot shorter. So I want you to put just at the bottom of it, right? Put a day of death, basically, right? A DOD, day of death. Put that on there. So if you're in your 40s currently right now, put on there, I don't know, maybe your 80s. Maybe shorter. Whatever you feel like is going to help you move the needle and take action, put a day of death on there. And then on the flip side, right, your list of great, that's right there. I want you to add in another maybe, 15, 20, maybe even 30 years to that list, Because guess what? I want they to be the representation for you that your life here on earth it's limited. It's not infinite, it's limited. It's finite. Right? Like, eventually, you're going to die. Eventually, I'm going to die. But guess what? What is going to move the needle closer to that day of death? You sitting on your couch all day watching Netflix, eating Cheetos and drinking beer, being a fat, lazy slob and not caring about yourself? Or are you actually doing something about it? And I know for me, somebody that, loves my family to death, I want to make sure that I'm doing everything possible. Not just for myself here, but also to be a good role model and support system for my family so my son can also live a longer, healthier life. Not just for me, but also for him to live a longer, healthier life. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He's 4 years old doing push-ups and sit-ups with me every single day. Like, this is what we do when we watch, Winnie the Pooh, honestly, on Disney+. So it's just like, you need to learn how to be that role model. And let's say if you don't have a family, well, guess what? Hopefully that day of death that's on that list of, hates versus the list of greats, that is going to be enough of a representation for you to start taking action and feeding the good wolf. Because you need to. Why? Because your life depends on it. Plain and simple. This is exactly what we kind of help our members with at Heartletics in the very beginning stages when they get signed up. We simply remind them a different analogy here, but it's of a tree. And so when you have this tree with this big branches, right, huge, enormous tree, guess what? That's like the list of great. That's your goals. That's where you're trying to get to. But underneath the surface, right, that's your deep-rooted why. And sometimes for you to hold yourself accountable, sometimes for you to stay more disciplined and motivated, you need to remind yourself of where you're trying to get to. And most importantly, where you're trying to get away from. They did a study. And they had all these, I think it was like these different, mice. And it was like in a tube. And so basically what they did with these mice that's in the tube, they put a piece of cheese at the end of the tube. Just to measure, to see how fast these mice would get to the piece of cheese. Well, guess what? Right? They definitely got to the piece of cheese, right? They're mice. They're hungry. But what they did also was they put a cat, right? They did another study, the same mice. There was no cheese right here. They put a cat at the other side of the tube. And they basically had it to where they knew that that cat was there. Guess what? They ran a lot faster to get to the other side. So if your goals are over here, great. I'm sure, hey, you're going to run pretty fast. But I bet you anything that if your life depended on you having success at reaching your goals, you're going to run 10 times faster. If there was a pot of gold, right? If let's say in the middle of the forest, you'd run pretty fast, right? But if there was a bear chasing you, you would run 10 times faster. You need to change your mindset. And if you change your mindset, you're going to change your life. This is why we tell everybody, it's not what happens to you at Heartletics in terms of, what you get out of the coaching program. Sure, you lose some weight. Sure, you have more energy. Sure, you have more confidence. Sure, you're off your medications. These are all great things. But most importantly, it's who you become. Because when you change your mindset, you start becoming the best version of yourself. So today's call to action is, hey, take out a piece of paper. Write down all the things that you hate about yourself. Write down all the things that's also great in terms of where you're trying to get to, right? The list of hates, the list of great, the 2.0 version of yourself, where you're trying to get to in terms of your goals. At the very bottom of the list, DOD. What is the day of death on both different columns? Are you going to live longer if you start treating your body like a temple and start taking care of it, start prioritizing your health? I firmly believe the answer is yes. And if you don't think that the answer is yes, I firmly believe you're a moron. That's just a reality. So let's start taking action. Let's start feeding the good wolf. Let's start taking that step outside our comfort zone. And it doesn't have to be hard at all. It's just that most guys out there, they typically cut out carbs, cut out alcohol, cut out sugar, cut out all their fun favorite foods, right? Cut out their calories. Cut things out. The reality is this, and I talked about it before. When you have the proper mindset, when it comes down to calories, nutrition, training your body, it's all about learning how to create sustainable habits. And when you learn how to create those sustainable habits, hands down, you're going to get the results you're looking for. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is exactly how we help and coach our members at Heartletics. It's not about taking anything away from them. It's more so about giving them the knowledge, giving them the guidance, giving them the education. It's just like, hey, anybody can go to, an arcade and drive a little racing simulator game, but if they don't actually know how to drive a car, how applicable is that to the real world? So why don't we actually become the driving instructors and actually teach them these skills? Just like you get your license, right? Driving instructors teach you every step of the way. You get your license, that skill that you learned in that time frame carries you on for the rest of your life. Imagine if somebody taught you how to eat and train properly for the rest of your life. Specifically for your body type, specifically for your goals and your lifestyle. Imagine that. It's kind of like the phrase, give a man a fish, feed him for a day, or teach a man how to fish and feed him for the rest of his life. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.